The year is almost over and my TBR is well and truly judging me. Here are 10 books that I would love to get to before the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve. My 10 before the end, if you will. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Carly and today I'm going to be talking all about 10 books that I would love to read before the year is over. A full disclaimer, there's actually more than 10 books in this video. There's 13 because I've got my 10 before the end, but I've also got 2 book club books and a buddy read, so I thought I'd add them in as well because why not? I was sat there the other day thinking about the books that I would like to read to close out 2025 and I thought, why not make a video about it? My 10 before the end is also not to be confused with my winter TBR because that will be a completely separate video, which I'll post at the end of this month. These are just books that I keep thinking about and ones that I really want to get ticked off before we head into 2026. So yeah, this is just for a little bit of fun. There's absolutely no pressure if I don't get to these books. But like I said, these are the ones that I just really want to get to. This video is a way of kind of holding myself accountable. Like if I tell you guys that I want to read them and I put it out into the universe, then it'll make me more inclined to actually read them. And yeah, I'm going to leave the intro there, I think, and just dive straight in. Right, first up is one I don't actually have a physical copy of. I have it on my Kindle. It is called The Names by Florence Knapp. And ever since I heard about this book, I haven't stopped thinking about it. And I feel like it is about time I actually picked it up. So the concept of it sounds absolutely incredible. It sounds so unique. It is all about a woman who decides to give her son 3 different names, which kind of end up giving him 3 different lives. So it's all about how much a name can influence like which direction your life goes. Like how interesting does that sound? So I've actually got like a little bit of the blurb up here and it says, so it goes on about like this woman and like her decision to name her son what she names him. And then it says, powerfully moving and full of hope, this is the story of 3 names, 3 versions of a life and the infinite possibilities that a single decision can spark. It is the story of one family and love's endless capacity to endure no matter what fate has in store. Doesn't that sound so good? Honestly, I cannot wait to read this book. I have seen so many incredible reviews for it. So yeah, that is going right at the top of my 10 before the end. I don't even know like what category / genre it would fall into. Would it just be like literary fiction, like general fiction? I don't know. If anybody has read this book, then please let me know. Because yeah, the concept on its own is just blowing my mind. Right, next up we have got another one that I don't have a physical copy of, and this is because it hasn't been released yet. It is going to be on my video. Maybe I'm going to film that video next week or the week after. I'm going to do a video talking all about upcoming releases that I'm really excited about, and this is one of them. It is called A Grim Reaper's Guide to Cheating Death, and it is the sequel to A Grim Reaper's Guide to Catching a Killer by Maxie Dara. Now, I read this last year. Did I read it for spooky season? I can't actually remember. But it is kind of like a cozy mystery about a modern day Grim Reaper, and I absolutely loved it. I actually feel like this book is very underrated. I don't see anybody talking about it, and I really loved the plot and the characters, and yeah, I just had such a fun time while I was reading it, and it actually made me cry at the end. So yeah. So in this one we follow Kathy, who is a modern day Grim Reaper. She's in her 40s as well, which I really liked because being 40 myself, I just find characters that are my age a little bit more relatable. So yeah, it follows Kathy. She is, I mean, she's not having the best time, to be honest, in her work and in her personal life. Her job as a Grim Reaper is to go and collect the essences, aka like the souls of people who have recently passed. When she goes to collect her most recent client's essence, it's not there. The soul isn't there. She tries to track him down and he says to her, I am not passing over. I have been murdered and I'm not going anywhere until I find out what's happened to me. So that storyline I absolutely loved, and I would actually highly recommend this book. This one, I don't know if it's actually a sequel or if it's a standalone set in the same type of universe, because it's about a different Grim Reaper that works for the same company. It's called Scythe, which stands for the Secure Collection, Yielding and Transportation of Human Essences. I just love a pun and a play on words like that. Whereas book 1 was about Kathy, book 2 is about a different Grim Reaper called Nora. And it's all about how she has been spending her whole life trying to avoid risk because her parents died when she was 6. She works in the department that is all about how to cheat death type thing. And one day she comes across a file that has her twin brother's names on. So yeah, I think it's just going to be another cozy mystery. This one is being released on the 2nd of December in the UK anyway. I don't know if the date is different in the US. And I have it on pre-order and I cannot wait to read it. Right, next up, we have got a massive curveball. And this is actually a book that I didn't think I would ever read. You know when you see books and they've just never appealed to you, but for some reason, I keep seeing it. It is Before and After by Andrew Shanahan. Now, do you know what? Hands up, I am going to out myself here, because when I first saw this book being released, I'm sure it was out last year, wasn't it, in hardback, I thought it was a non-fiction book. It says at the top, an end of the world weight loss epic. So I thought it was like a self-help book. No, I couldn't be more wrong. This is supposed to be like a horror, dystopian, like sci-fi type book, I think. And I tell you what first piqued my interest was when I went to Liverpool for Amy and Michaela's wedding party, and I went shopping, and one of our book friends that came shopping with us, Jade, she said that this was her favourite book of the year so far. And I was like, okay. And then since then, it has kept popping up on my For You page with people doing reviews on it and recommending it. And I'm like, right, you've got me, like I'm in. So it's about an overweight man. So it says Ben Stone is terrified. He's terrified because he weighs 610 pounds and he needs his right leg amputating. He's terrified because a crane will shortly lift him from his 4th floor flat and lower him to the ambulance waiting below. He's terrified because he hasn't been outside in 9 years and he doesn't know who will look after his dog. He doesn't need to worry though, because the world is about to end. This is a horror story. It's a visceral portrait of addiction and the hope of redemption in a world turned mad by hate and fear. The worst thing is that so much of it is true and must read. Like, I have seen the most phenomenal reviews for this book. It's only short as well. Like, it is 230 something pages. There's also a sequel, and Jade actually said, when she was saying like this was her favourite book of the year so far, she said it's the only book that she's ever read and then gone straight into the sequel. So yeah, I am well and truly intrigued by the whole concept of it. Again, if you have read it, please let me know. But yeah, I am definitely going to read this before the end of the year. Right, next up, I feel like this has been on quite a few of my TBRs, and I feel like I need to just stop messing around and actually read it. Black Summer by M.W. Craven. So if you are fairly new to my channel, you may not have seen the other videos where I spoke about this book, because I do think I filmed those videos during the summer. This is book 2 in the Washington Post series. I think there are about 7 or 8 books in this series. I've only actually read book 1, which is called The Puppet Show, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it is a dark serial killer thriller, police procedural type book. One of my absolute favourite thrillers to read. So please tell me why I still haven't read book 2. It's happening before the end of the year. I am telling you now, like, this is my pledge. So this is about a serial killer that's already in prison, I think. Oh no, he's not a serial killer, is he? It says Jared Keaton, chef to the stars, charming, charismatic psychopath. He's currently serving a life sentence for the murder of his daughter, Elizabeth. Her body was never found, and Keaton was convicted largely on the testimony of Detective Sergeant Washington Poe. That's why it's called the Washington Poe series. So when a young woman staggers into a remote police station with irrefutable evidence that she is Elizabeth Keaton, Poe finds himself on the wrong end of an investigation, one that could cost him much more than his career. Doesn't that sound so good? So has he put the wrong man away? Like, is this girl who she actually says she is? And also, the one thing that I loved about the puppet show was a character in it called Tilly. She is a civilian, I think, that helps Poe with his investigation. And she gave very similar vibes to Strange Sally Diamond by Liz Nugent. So if you've read Strange Sally Diamond, you'll know exactly what I mean. But if you haven't, then I don't think it's explicitly mentioned, but it's kind of suggested that Tilly is neurodivergent. And I absolutely loved her. Like, she is very straight talking, and the dynamic between her and Poe, I absolutely loved in the first book. So yeah, I am definitely going to read this book before the 1st of January 2026. Right, next up we've got another thriller actually, and another one I do feel like I've spoken about a few times on my channel previously. The Frozen People by Elly Griffiths. Now, I'm going to give you a little spoiler here. This is actually going to be on my winter TBR because of the word frozen, obviously. I don't think it's actually got anything to do with winter. The word frozen is because it's about cold cases, which I absolutely love. And I tell you what else has got in it, which I absolutely love. A Victorian setting. So I think this has like a time travel element. So I think it's kind of like your usual police procedural thriller book. But the team in this book, they travel back to the Victorian era to try and solve cold cases that are obviously so old and so cold, they're frozen. Hence the Frozen People. And then I think one of the main police officers, is it Elly? I think she ends up going so far into these cold cases that she struggles to get back to the present day or something like that anyway. Like this is another one I have wanted to read probably for over a year. I wanted to read it when it first came out on hardback, and I know I have said a few times before, I don't like reading hardbacks. I do buy the odd hardback, like in, especially if they're pretty. I absolutely hate buying thriller books in hardback because more often than not, you can get them for about £5 in the supermarket in paperback when they come out. And I just begrudge paying like £18 for a thriller hardback. So I always hold off buying thriller books when they're first released, unless they're released on paperback. That was very waffly. I'm very sorry. This has been on my radar for so long. I feel like Michaela has read this. I'm sure she has read it and she was like, Carly, you're going to absolutely love it. Like, it's the Victorian era, and we both love the Victorian era. I'm really excited to finally get to it. Next up, we have got Blood on Her Tongue by Johanna van Veen. And this is a gothic horror, I think, a new gothic masterpiece, which is decadent, full of gore and rot, and viscerally, relentlessly engaging. That's what CJ Lead thought of it anyway. So this is set in 1887 and it is all about like madness. It's about two sisters. Lucy's twin sister Sarah is unwell. She refuses to eat, mumbles nonsensically, and is increasingly obsessed with a centuries-old corpse recently discovered on her husband's grand estate. The doctor has diagnosed her with temporary insanity caused by a fever of the brain. To protect her twin from a terrible fate in the lunatic asylum, Lucy must unravel the mystery surrounding her sister's condition. But it's clear her twin is hiding something. But then again, Lucy is harbouring secrets of her own too. Doesn't it sound like incredible? I love anything like this, anything to do with madness, asylums, particularly historical settings, anything gothic, anything with corpses. Yeah. I don't know why I haven't read it yet, to be honest. I tell you why. I don't know if you can see in this video, my little mini pink coffin shelf there. This is always stacked behind that, and I always forget about it when I'm like mood reading my way through the month and I'm like, don't really know what I fancy. This is always tucked away behind there, which is probably why. So I'm going to leave it out to remind me to read it before the end of the year. Next up, we have got another one with a historical setting that I'm so excited about. House of Splinters by Laura Purcell. So this is, I don't know if it's a sequel or a prequel, or if it's just set in the same world as The Silent Companions, which I have spoken about a lot on my channel. Like, that is one of my favourite books. It is one of my favourite haunted house, gothic, spooky vibes. Like, it gave me the heebies while I was reading it. It's about like this crumbling estate, and this woman called Elsie goes to stay there. She finds this hidden room and a locked door, and behind the locked door she finds a diary with like loads of mystery in the diary, and also she finds these creepy wooden figures called the Silent Companions, which I didn't actually know were a thing back in this era. Was it the Victorian era? They were like for decoration. They are absolutely terrifying. Anyway, Elsie finds one behind this locked door, and it looks like her. Like the concept is terrifying, isn't it? I think this is a prequel, you know, because so the Silent Companions has 2 storylines. There's like an 1800s storyline, and then there's like throwbacks and flashbacks to, I want to say, like a 1600s timeline. This is set in 1774. It says there, from the Sunday Times best-selling author of The Silent Companions, the book that reignited the horror genre and caused countless sleepless nights, comes a spine-tingling new novel. So it's set in the same house, which is called The Bridge. It's still got the creepy companions in it, though. It says, and what part do the strange wooden figures around the household have to play in these events? So Elsie is convinced, like, these wooden statues are coming to life at night. Honestly, it is absolutely terrifying. So, yeah, I feel like it is time. I read The Silent Companions last year. I read it ages ago. So, yeah, it is time I went back to the bridge to find out what happens. Right, next up we have got this month's book club book, The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. So this is my in-person book club's pick for November, and also my online book club's pick for November. If you would like to join my online book club, it is all free through Fable. I will post the link to my online book club in the video description for you. But yeah, anybody is welcome. We read a wide range of genres, and the online book club pick is always the same as the in-person book club pick, just to kind of save on the admin, my end, you know? So for book club, we try and do like a different genre every month. And last November, we did a witchy book. So we decided to do a witchy book again for this November. And this is the book that won the poll. I have read another book by Alexis Henderson called House of Hunger, which was about vampires, and I absolutely loved it. So I am really looking forward to this. I have a feeling that this is like folklore-y. Yeah, so it just says, born on the fringes of Bethel, Emmanuel does her best to obey the church and follow holy protocol. For it was in Bethel that the first prophet pursued and killed 4 powerful witches and so cleansed the land. And then I think, is it something to do with something in the woods? It says, then a chance encounter lures her into the dark wood that surrounds Bethel. It is a forbidden place haunted by the spirits of the witches who bestow an extraordinary gift on Emmanuel, the diary of her dead mother. Stop it right now. That sounds so good. I am so excited about this book. I love a witchy book. Witchy books are like one of my favourite genres ever to read. Oh, it has got folklore in it, folklore-y stuff. A magnificent raw slice of folk horror, dark with threat and clenched with suspense. A brilliant debut. Oh, we've got another folklore one, I think. Grace by A.M. Shine. So, if anybody doesn't know who A.M. Shine is, he is the same author that wrote The Watchers, Stay in the Light and The Creeper. Has he written any other books? I'm not entirely sure. I will check and let you know. I have read all 3 of those books and I absolutely loved them. A.M. Shine writes the best creeping dread folklore type books. Like, they're always terrifying. Oh, so this is based on Irish mythology. So this is his newest book. It's out in February, actually. I was very lucky to be sent a proof copy by the publisher, Head of Zeus. And I really want to get this read before it's released. So yeah, it just says, Grace never knew where she came from. A mysterious phone call leads her back to where she was born. A lonely island, isolated and willfully forgotten. Locals believe that the dark times are behind them. A haunting, atmospheric, modern gothic horror tale based on traditional Irish mythology from the author of the smash hit The Watchers. The Watchers, honestly, it is one of my favourites. I absolutely love that book. And to be honest, I actually love the sequel even more. The claustrophobic, terrifying vibes in those books, I love them. So yeah, I am really, really excited to get to this. Also, look at the flop on that book. Like, look how lush that is going to be to read. just stays open on its own. I bloody love it. Right, next up, this book was actually on my book haul video that I posted a couple of days ago, and it is my December book club's pick, Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. So this is kind of giving like, I don't know if it's a horror or a thriller. Maybe it's like a horror thriller, horror. It's kind of giving like both vibes, to be honest. And it is about a group of people. It says they head deep into the Rocky Mountains, but a bitterly cold snowstorm sweeps the region and this small group is forced to take shelter in an abandoned hunting cabin. So it's very claustrophobic. Krista believes they'll be safe as they wait out the storm. She couldn't be more wrong. Oh, it says deep in the night, their tour guide goes missing, only to be discovered the following morning. His severed head impaled on a tree outside the cabin. No, this sounds so good. I can't bloody wait. It says, creepy, claustrophobic and thoroughly frightening. I mean, what more could you want in the leads up to Christmas? Oh, next up, we have got another one with a winter setting, and this is actually my buddy read, A Haunting in the Arctic by CJ Cooke. So I am buddy reading this with two of my book friends over on Instagram, Rachel and Sarah. We used to try and do a buddy read every month, and I think we've just been so busy this year, we've hardly done any, but we are actually buddy reading this. I want to say around the 17th of November. I think that's when it starts. So this is one of the only other books on CJ Cooke's backlist that I need to read. After this, I think I've only got The Nest in, and I've read her entire backlist, which means I will be able to do a ranking video for you. For anybody that hasn't seen some of my previous videos, CJ Cooke is one of my favourite authors. Two of my favourite books are by her. The Last Witch and The Book of Witching were both 5-star reads for me. Like, they were absolutely outstanding. And this is, yeah, I think it's set in the Arctic, funnily enough. 1901, on board the Orman, a whaling ship battling through the unforgiving North Sea, a woman awakes. Attacked and dragged there against her will, it's just her and the crew, and they're all owed something only she can give them. And then you've got another timeline in 1973, so like 70 odd years later. Decades later, when the ship is found still drifting across the ocean, it's deserted. Just one body is left on board, his face and feet mutilated, his cabin locked from the inside, everyone else has vanished. So it's about like an urban explorer, and it says, but she's not alone. Something is here with her and it's seeking revenge. I hope this is going to give me some female rage vibes. Rich, chilling and gorgeously gothic. A terrifying mystery. I love anything gothic, and I just feel like this is the perfect time of year to read books with like winter settings. Next up, we have got The Favourites by Layne Fargo. This is another one I have had on my shelf for ages, like pretty much for most of this year. I can't actually remember when it was released, but I bought it as soon as it was released because there was a massive hype around this book when it first came out. So it is by the same author that wrote They Never Learn, which is one of my favourite thriller books. I absolutely love it. It's got a female serial killer in it and it's got dark humour. I had such a fun time while I was reading it, but this isn't a thriller at all. I actually think it's a love story. I know, biggest plot twist ever. So I think it's about ice skaters. Obviously, honestly, I need to think before I speak. It is obviously about ice skaters. It's got bloody ice skates on the cover. And yeah, I just think it's a romance. I don't really know much more about it apart from that. Everyone thinks Heath Rocher was my first love. He wasn't. My first love was figure skating. When she first meets him, he's a lonely kid stuck in the foster care system. Their instant connection makes them a formidable duo on the ice. And yeah, I mean, it's not really given much more than that. I think this is told like through interviews. So is it mixed media? I think. I may be lying about that, but I'm sure it is. Yeah, it says 10 years later, an unauthorised tell-all documentary reignites the public obsession with them. If she wants to tell her own story, she must break her silence. So I am very intrigued by this. There's a few reasons I want to read it, actually. I've had it on my shelf pretty much for most of the year, and I don't know why I still haven't read it. I absolutely loved Layne Fargo's writing style. Like, I was addicted to They Never Learn, and I read it so quickly. It's about ice skaters, which again, winter is the perfect time to read a book about ice skaters. And also, I am going to do this on audio because I've heard the audiobook is supposed to be fantastic for it, and it really immerses you in the story. So yeah, I am so excited. I think I've said this about every single book in this video, but I am so excited to finally read this book. And last but not least, I have saved an absolute beast of a book till last. I don't know if this is peak delusion to think that I am going to get to a 1,000-page book before the end of December, but I'm going to try my bloody best. Alchemized by Sen-Lin Yu. Look at the absolute size of this book. It's bigger than my head. It weighs a ton as well. I'm going to have DOMs in my arm after holding this book up for this video. So I think this is like a dark fantasy, dark romance vibes. I've heard it's like very, very dark. It's about an alchemist, obviously, because it's called Alchemized. Oh, it's got murder in it. Tick. Depraved necromancers. Tick. Ooh, vile undead creatures. Also tick. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm reading that blurb and I haven't got a bloody clue. But it's got a prison in it. Honestly, I have seen phenomenal reviews for this book. But I tell you what I am going to do, because there is absolutely no way on this planet I am reading a 1,000-page hardback book. Like, I would do myself an injury trying to hold this to read it. No way. So I have already downloaded the audiobook. It's ready and waiting to go. The audiobook's bloody 36 hours long, isn't it? That's ridiculous. But I'm going to listen to it whilst I'm doing all of my Christmas orders, because I feel like I'm going to have a lot of time in my little cake studio, icing all my Christmas cookies and making all my decorations and stuff. So what better way to keep myself entertained than with a 36-hour long audiobook? So yeah, those are some of the books that I would absolutely love to get to before the year is out. I'm going to put them down actually, they weigh a ton. Like I said, this isn't my full winter TBR. I usually average around 20 books a month. So that is like a quarter of what I'm hoping to read before the year is up. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you managed to get some inspiration for your own TBRs as well. Please let me know if there are any books on your 10 before the end, or not even 10 before the end. If there's any books on your radar that you're thinking to yourself, I would really like to read that before the end of the year, please let me know, because I absolutely love hearing all about your reading plans as well. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to hit that little subscribe button below. I would absolutely love it if you decided to stick around and follow for lots of book recommendations and just general bookish content. I have got an epic video planned for you that will probably come, I may try and post it next week. So I did an ultimate autumn reading guide. I think I posted that at the end of August. I'm bringing you an ultimate winter reading guide. I've already planned it all out. I just need to film it. So I'm going to try and film it next week and maybe get it up towards the end of next week. Honestly, there are some absolute bangers on that list, and I'm so excited to talk to you about them. I will leave it there for now. Happy reading, and I'll catch you all next time.